Hello friends, me again. Do you want to know how to not only save a ton of money, but also be able to flex to your friends pretty much like you're Gordon Ramsay? Well, today we're going to be jointing a chicken into 8 pieces, and stay to the end because I've got a cheeky little surprise for you. Now you may be asking, why do we need to joint a chicken? Well, you don't. You can buy the individual pieces from the shop or the butcher, no problem at all. But if you buy the whole chicken, it's a huge saving. Often the whole chicken will cost less than 2 chicken breasts. It makes so much more sense to buy the whole thing. And on the same lines, you're getting more pieces of chicken for the same money. But also when you're finished, you can use the carcass and any bones for stock or soup. Now to joint a chicken, you essentially need just 2 things. A knife, obviously, but probably more obviously, a chicken. It's also worth having a couple of bowls by your side because one, you can put the chicken pieces in that and the bones and carcass in the other one. Keeps everything nice and clean and saves you washing down stuff later. Of course, the most important thing when working with chicken is you do wash your hands before and after, and anything that does come into contact with the raw chicken, like your chopping board or your knife, you do thoroughly clean them afterwards along with your hand, so there's no spread of any bacteria. Right, onto the chicken. Even though it may be obvious, let's go over what's on the chicken. You have 2 legs, 2 wings, and 2 breasts, and then the carcass. We're going to be breaking this down into 8 pieces. So that's 2 breasts, 2 wings, and 2 legs. So that's only 6. But then you break the legs down into a thigh and a drumstick. So that's your 8 pieces altogether. Now starting with one of the legs, you can see there's some skin here. You want to cut through that with the knife, and so you can see the joint exposed. Then looking underneath, you can see where the leg finishes and this kind of curve around here. That meat under there is what's known as the oyster, and it's absolutely stunning. So you want to keep that attached to the leg meat. So once you've cut through the skin, holding the leg in one hand, you want to snap back the joint, which will expose a gap where the bone is. So then holding the whole thing by the leg, you can then cut around that oyster and then through, and that will give you one whole leg cut off. Do exactly the same for the other leg, and then it comes to the wings. Hold the wing up like this and you'll be cutting round the wing. You'll feel the joint, you can cut through the joint and the wing comes off. Repeat this for the other wing. Now we've got the 2 wings and the 2 legs off. Next thing is to take the 2 breast portions off. Down the middle of the bird you can see a groove, and below that is the breastbone. Put the knife in just to one side of the breastbone and cut along the bone all the way, making sure you don't leave any meat on the bone. Once you've got a clean cut through the wishbone. That will just make it easier later on. Move your knife down the bone in a cutting motion and also pushing outwards against the meat all the way down until eventually you can cut the breast free and you're just left with one whole breast. Do exactly the same on the other side. That now gives us 2 breasts, 2 wings, and 2 legs. Now we want to break the legs down into thighs and drumsticks. Now take the leg, and on the back, as you can see, there's a natural fat line that runs across it. Place your knife just to the drumstick side of that fat line and you should be able to cut through perfectly easily without actually cutting through the bone. That will then leave you with a thigh and a drumstick. Repeat the same for the other leg, and now you've got 2 breasts, 2 wings, 2 thighs, and 2 drumsticks. 8 pieces from a whole chicken. And it leaves you then with the carcass, which you can use for stock or soups. If you don't know how to do that, what I would suggest is put it in a bag, chuck it in the freezer, because I'll be doing another video soon on how to make homemade chicken stock. It's so easy and you'll really kick yourself that you've never done it sooner and really stop buying stock cubes. Now with these 8 pieces, you can then fillet them down even more. You can cook them as they are, take the skin off, leave the skin on. It doesn't really matter, but the fact is you've got 8 portions of chicken here at such a ridiculously cheap cost because you bought the whole bird complete, plus the carcass for any stock. And so my challenge to you is give it a go. It's so easy. You don't need special knife skills at all. You can see how I did it. It's super quick. To be honest, you can do the whole thing in under a minute. And even Gordon Ramsay did it blindfolded. It really is simple. Don't worry if you miss a little bit of meat on the bones. It comes with practice. It doesn't really matter because if you're going to use that carcass for stock, it's going to be flavour anyway. But the point is, you're getting so much more value and so much better use of the chicken rather than just buying the separate parts themselves. So if you too really want to start enjoying cooking for the fun experience it is and start taking a few risks, make sure you smash that like button and like the video, share it with everyone, share it with the world. And make sure you click the link in the description below to get my free PDF of 5 home kitchen essentials. Never mind all the rubbish that you see around, these are the only 5 things you really need in your kitchen. Save yourself a ton of money and make life a lot easier. And for now guys, I say thanks for coming along, sticking with me. Hopefully you're enjoying cooking and loving the new videos, and yep, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.